Hey Yoga fam, Jessie here with George Cat, and I'm sure we'll get other animal visitors during class because we always do. Um, my pronouns are they and she for anyone that I haven't practiced with before. For everyone that I know, hi, it's good to see you. I missed you. Um, I'm 38 weeks pregnant right now, so I haven't been making as many yoga videos or really doing as much yoga as my body is preparing to have a baby. I've been doing a lot of resting. And to be honest, that is doing yoga, right? Like the spiritual practice of connecting to ourselves and more than ourselves um, goes beyond physical poses, goes beyond asana. Um, and I have just felt so held by my ability to rest. So today's restorative yoga class is going to really focus on that, on what it feels like to rest, to just be and let it be enough, which is really hard. That is a practice in and of itself. We don't have to earn rest. We don't have to have a hard day, a hard week, a challenging job, a human inside of us, to deserve to rest. So hopefully wherever you are, you can lean into that, especially if it's hard for you to do. Like I know it's hard for me to do normally. So as far as props go, I'm going to use the shit out of my props. I'm not going to pretend like I don't have them because I do. So I'm just going to say what I have, and you should get whatever props you have and then some. So I have 3 blankets plus this shawl that I use as like a pillow blanket or I cover up with sometimes. I have an eye pillow, which you can also use a scarf or like a little towel to cover your eyes. I find that to be very restful. I have 2 sets of blocks. I have cork blocks and foam blocks. And I have 3 bolsters. I have a big, middle, and long, thin size bolster. So if you don't have this array of props, that's okay. Get as many blankets and towels as you can. Get pillows off your bed. Get couch cushions. You can use the base of a couch to prop your bolster, your bolster up on if you don't have 2 sets of blocks. And just make it work. The point of this practice is to be comfortable and rest. So if you're comfortable, you're doing it right. If you're not doing exactly what I'm doing, that's fine too. So just let yourself, I don't know, loosen your grip already on it being perfect, and we'll just get set up in our first pose. So what we're going to need are 2 firm blocks. So if you only have foam, you might have to get creative with how you set them up. Um, if you've got cork blocks, or again, the edge of a chair or a couch, you can use that. I'm going to put my blocks tall and medium height towards the back end of my mat. And then I'm going to take the bolster and lean it up against them. So you want it to not feel like it's going to topple. You want it to feel firm, like you can lean against it. And you can lower those blocks each a level if that's better for you. The next thing I'm going to do is take one of my blankets, and I'm just going to put it so I can sit on it. I'm actually going to open it up to this size. That's just so that my butt is more comfortable, which is always good. George likes it too. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my foam block. So you could use 2 towels. You could use books if you've got books that work. I'm just going to put them to the side. They're going to be for under my arms, so my arms have something to rest on when I get super into this shape. And then I'm going to take one of my little bolsters. So that could be a pillow for you. I'm actually going to use both of mine. So you want your knees to feel supported here. And then if, like me, if you have kind of short legs, I'm going to then put this other blanket under my heels. So excuse me, sir, my knees are supported, my ankles are supported. I want the bolster to be tucked right up next to my low back. So you want your low back to feel supported. That's another place that an extra blanket might feel good. You won't know until you get down in there. But then we're going to take a pillow or a towel under the head potentially. Let's see here. You want your head and neck supported so that your chin tucks a little bit. And the first thing I do is test it out. So I kind of move things around. I kind of wiggle things down. Serious business getting comfortable here. Thank you, George. I've decided that I am pretty comfortable, so I'm going to take my extra blanket. You can use a sweater or a big scarf. I'm actually going to open it up over my legs and kind of have it with my blocks under my forearms and hands so that my hands are hanging heavy. Give my little head pillow an extra tuck. I'm wearing glasses. I'm going to take them off and just set them to the side. Set them somewhere safe, which with George Cat around is a gamble. And then I'm going to get my eye pillow. So I'm going to set that up. Once you get comfortable for you, few deep breaths just to welcome yourself down onto the ground into this shape. Notice where you are. Does everything feel supported? Does everything feel comfortable? If the answer to either of those questions is no, it's worth the time to adjust. It's worth tweaking, shifting, scooching. It's even worth changing the whole pose if you need to. Notice if, like me, your brain immediately went in 1,000 directions. And just remind yourself that all of those directions have something to offer. But right now, just being here on the ground is what we're practicing being interested in. What is it like to rest? Remind yourself that you deserve to rest. That there is never a bad reason to. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to explain it. You can just be comfortable here on the ground for a little while. Start to notice your breath. What part of your torso is filling up first? Where does it feel like your breath goes when you breathe out? We're not trying to change anything at this moment. We're not trying to adjust the breath or focus it anywhere in particular. Just the practice of observing how we show up, what it's like to be here now. And your breath might start to naturally deepen. If it's comfortable to breathe in and out through your nose, you may have automatically switched into a little bit of an Ujjayi pranayama, a little victorious breath in and out through the nose, over the soft palate and the back of your throat. Maybe you're sighing out through the mouth on your exhales. It might be interesting to see if you can gradually start to increase the amount of air you take in and the amount that you breathe back out. So without any pattern or any real like hard intention, just seeing like where is there more space when you pay attention? Where does it feel relaxing to breathe into? There are lots of techniques, lots of breath practices, lots of ways to experience our aliveness in this way. What ways show up now when you're offering yourself a little time to just be? And perhaps the breath even takes a backseat to something else, another sensation in the body, or just drifting. It's all good. It's all you. Feel free to stay here with your breath if that's what's working. You're also welcome to try to exhale out twice as long as you inhale for. So, for example, if you inhale to a count of 4, try to exhale to a count of 8. You can change that number at any time or just disregard that practice for another one, or just let it go if it starts to feel um, less relaxing. Notice if any tension has naturally built up in your body, in your hands, in your face, in your feet. And see if you can exhale out some of that tension. Just a reminder to release as you breathe. Tension builds, and then we let it go back into the ether. Again, there's nothing wrong with needing to release, with needing to rest. That's totally natural function of our body. And it's a practice. There's nothing wrong with needing to remind ourselves to do it. So just let yourself be reminded, let yourself be easy. And we'll take a few more rounds of breath here. Deep inhale, long exhale. And just remember, you deserve to be comfortable. You deserve to take up this space and time. As a matter of fact, you don't have to move if you're comfortable. You could just stay right here, which I know I'm finding very tempting in my own body. But very gently, we're not going to move much. So as we start to shift, stay in this space. That even as we set up the next pose, you are still resting and relaxing. I'm going to start by wiggling our fingers and toes, rolling out wrists and ankles. Might feel good to stretch arms up and feet out just to give the body a little, a little blood flow, a little movement. If you have something covering your eyes, very gently, come back to the light. And then help yourself upright. Again, stay sleepy, stay slow. Sorry, George, you're going to have to come back in a second. We're going to come into a Supta Baddha Konasana. So if you know reclined bound angle pose and you have preferences on it, get after it. I'm just going to talk through how I'm going to change my props and we'll get comfortable from there. You can always adjust or disregard. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lower my blocks each one level. So now my blocks under my bolster are on the medium and low height. So I'll just be a little lower down into the shape than I was before. And then from here, I'm going to take the two bolsters that I had under my knees. I'm going to bring them to the sides of my legs. I'm going to bring the bottoms of my feet together, the knees apart. I'm going to take this extra blanket and just kind of tuck my feet in. If you want to use two rolled towels, blankets, or blocks under your legs, if your legs feel comfortable coming to the ground without props, help yourself. Oh, here, I'll show without the blanket. I'm kind of in this butterfly shape, if you will. Got my little arm blankets there. And I'm going to cover myself up totally for this one. So I've got a little nest going. Oh, George. Come here, honey. You can be right here. He loves it. This cat comes from anywhere in the house when he hears me set up my mat. It's actually very sweet, my little yoga buddy. Okay. So once you get your legs set up, go ahead and lean back. Again, you want to make sure that your head and neck are supported and that your chin tucks a little. That stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest function of your nervous system. And since that's what we're focusing on is resting, that's what we want. So we're going to, again, if you've got a scarf or an eye pillow, you're going to bring that over your eyes. Your arms can be on your little arm rests or on your belly or your chest. I'm actually going to tuck my arms in under this blanket because it feels so nice to be tucked. I have a cat in my way, but I don't mind. Make any and all adjustments. Just reminding yourself that getting more comfortable is the practice. It's not going to take you out of the pose to need something to shift. It actually gets you deeper in. And then once you get there, a couple of big sighs out through the mouth. So deep, full inhale. And then big, couple more just like that. Inhale full. Exhale long. Notice what it's like to be in your body now. This shape is a little more open, a little more receptive. There might be more physical sensation through the hips and the shoulders and breath. And notice, what does that stir up as we try to slow down? Your breath might take focus again. You might just drift off a little. That's okay too. And when you sense yourself thinking, one little trick I like is I just say thinking in my head. It's almost like hitting a little reset button. There's nothing wrong with thinking. It's something our brains do brilliantly, almost to a fault, right? But it's not the focus right now. Your thoughts are clouds and you are the entire sky. So just as soon as a thought appears, you can just breathe it back away, like watching clouds make shapes and then dissolve again. It's almost like you just let it run in the background. Another technique I use is to just come back to the breath. Filling up with the inhale and then releasing more with the exhale. Again, just notice any tension as it starts to creep in or build up in the body. And try to exhale it away, even if it comes back with the inhale. Again, the practice is not to stop our brains and bodies from doing what they do. It's to practice getting good at noticing it and letting it release, even for a moment, even just for one breath. One option would be to just stay here. That's what I'm going to do. My body is asking to stay here, and I'm going to listen. If you'd like to transition into another shape for Shavasana, which was my plan before I showed up in my body, you could lay all the way down on the ground. You could put your legs up on something. You could remove the blocks from under your back, but keep the bolster so that you still have some support, but you're even lower towards the ground. You can do whatever you want with your legs. Just make sure you stay comfortable. I mean, you could even lay on your belly or your side. Try to stay soft. Be as receptive to you as you can. We'll take a few more minutes to be here and rest and breathe. As a matter of fact, if you want to turn the video off and just drift, you are more than welcome to. If you want to turn on some music, if you haven't already, or some ambient sounds that are, very relaxing for you, that might be nice. Or you could just stay where you are, as you are, letting it be enough. And take a few minutes to just rest. without moving. Just notice your body breathing. Notice what it feels like to rest. Again, you don't have to move if you don't want to. Your breath might be movement enough. And gently, if you're ready, excuse me, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe stretch your arms, move your legs. It might feel good to roll to one side for a breath or two. On the bolster, off the bolster. It's kind of a clever way to let your eye pillow fall off gently. And then use your hands on the ground to sit up. And just sit any way that's comfortable for a breath or two. You can let your hands rest on your lap or on your legs, maybe over your heart. A gentle reminder from me to you that if all you did was rest, it is a practice worth pursuing. We don't have to fill our lives with movement, with work, with effort, with asana to practice yoga or to connect with ourselves. All of those things do that great, but this practice of just being you on the ground, supported and breathing and resting is more than enough. And thank you so much for sharing with me and with you and with George Cat today. I'll see you soon. Hail yourselves.